This is the Louie T Network.
Louie T Live. Who else could it be? For me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to Winners and Losers, Week 8 edition. It's going to be a little bit of a different show tonight, probably move a lot faster. I'm a little ornery tonight, I'm not going to lie to you. A little perturbed, a little annoyed. First, before I even get into the show tonight, big shout out to my girlfriend. She was a game time decision tonight. And it was her toughness and her ability to fight through sickness, because she's a huge part of this show, and this show in particular. She helps me with all the spreadsheets and inputting the numbers and getting everything set numbers-wise so that I can present it to you guys. And had she not, because she's under the weather, she's not feeling well. Had she not helped me tonight, I'm not going to lie to you, it crossed my mind not to do the show tonight. I had a lot of stuff going on. I was super dad today, taking kids all over the place, gymnastics practice and helping with projects. And can you take me here? Can you take me there? We had some sick ones this week. It's been a lot on your man, Louie T. And the thought crossed my mind, F winners and losers this week. But when you see somebody going out, hurt and injured, and giving 110%, how can you not go out and do the same? And so there's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfectly fine. Maybe a little tired, but hey, you push through that. All right? To see her come over here and help when she's not feeling it. And like I said, she was a game time decision. She came out in warm-ups. She tested it out. She said, I can give it a go tonight. How can I not? So big shout out to my girlfriend, the love of my life, for looking out for the kid tonight, because it was rough. That's why we so damn late. It was rough. Not gonna lie to you. But on that note, I'm a little ornery tonight, not because of anything that I just mentioned, but because everybody won this week. It's never fun when everybody wins. I told you, I'm not a participation trophy guy. I don't want everybody getting a bag of chips, a juice box, a gold pendant, and a trophy because they won. Everyone, no, you don't get to win. Everyone doesn't get to win. But that was the kind of week it was, where everybody got a participation trophy. Everyone gets to feel good about themselves. I'm back. I won 10 games. I won 12 games. I'm back in the winner's circle. Oh, boo-hoo, ha-ha. It's garbage. Nobody earned it this week. This was chalk week. Rock, chalk, Jayhawk week. All you had to do was pick with sense. And you got, look, there were a few games. Look, everyone should have lost 2 games. Minimum, okay? For those of you who didn't, you were special this week. And you will be recognized. But everybody should have lost Kansas City and Carolina. Those were 2 gimmies. If you lost those 2 games, fine, okay? Those were 2 gimmies. After that, it were 15 games this week. You were allowed 3 uh-ohs. You were allowed 3 uh-ohs. So that meant you were allowed to go outside the box, outside of what everyone else was thinking, outside of the public. 3 times. That was it. You had 3. Okay, maybe Green Bay can win. They didn't win. But if you went with Green Bay, okay, I can understand that. You could go, maybe Arizona will win. They weren't going to win, but okay, if you thought Arizona was going to win, okay, go ahead, knock yourself out. Okay, maybe Denver will win. They're not going to win, but okay, if you think Denver has a chance on the road, go ahead. All right? Maybe Atlanta could beat New England. Okay, knock yourself out if you think that could happen. Redskins, Monday night, Eagles, maybe. Go ahead, knock yourself out. They couldn't get it done either. But those were about in the Jets. If you thought the Jets could sweep the Dolphins over in Miami, knock yourself out. Those were the 6 games you had to choose from. Pick 3. That's it. Pick 3. If you wanted to step outside the box, you had 3 games out of 6. Pick those 3. If you win, good for you. If you don't, you'll get double digits. If you stepped outside the box from those 4 games and tried to be special, or you picked more than 3, of those 6 games, you deserve what you got this week. There was no excuse not. I had double digits before we even got to Sunday night football, man. I had double digits before we got to Sunday night. The rest of the games were all house money. I played around with Sunday night and Monday night. Lost both of those games, didn't care because I already had double digits in the bag. That's the kind of week it was. That's not fun. I don't enjoy those types of weeks because everybody feels good about themselves after a week like this. And I don't like everybody feeling good about themselves because you didn't do anything. You didn't do nothing. You just showed up and you got a check. No, you didn't put in any work. You just showed up and you got a check. Just like the kid on the sidelines that just shows up every week, doesn't get any run, no burn, but he gets a trophy at the end of the season, just like the rest of his teammates. Everybody got a participation trophy this week, and I am sick to my stomach about it. So, yeah, I'm a little honorary tonight, and we're going to breeze through the winners. We're not going to spend a lot of time. I'll acknowledge a few of you guys for what you were able to do. Some of you needed this week bad. Like we need air, like fish needs water, like a man that is dying of dehydration in the desert needs a glass of water. That's how some of you needed week number 7, and you got it. Now let's see what you do with it. But in any event, thank you for joining me. I'm late, still great. And I appreciate every single one of you for joining me tonight on the program. And like I said, I'm gonna get us in and out as fast as possible. And so I'm gonna breeze through the winners, breeze through the losers, and then we're gonna get to a few comments. I'm not gonna do too many comments. We're gonna get to the week 8 winners, and we're gonna get out of here. And so before we do all of that, I want to first thank everyone for joining me on the program tonight. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content in 2017 and beyond. We're changing the game. I want you to help us do that by simply hitting that subscribe button and becoming a member of the Louie T Network. Also, you have a number of different social media platforms that you can keep abreast of this channel with by via Twitter. There's Instagram. There's Facebook. Of course, YouTube. And so all of the links to those different social media platforms down below in the description of this and every single video I do. Also in the description is how you can donate to the Louie T Network, Patreon and PayPal. That Patreon video that I've been promising for the last week is going to be out on Friday, so be on the lookout for that, and you'll get an inside look as to what donating on Patreon can potentially get you here on this channel. A lot of cool perks with that. So that's something you'll want to tune into when I release that video on Friday. But nonetheless, if you can donate, please, by all means, do donate. We're trying to take this channel to that next level. And the best way that I can do that, the most effective and efficient way I can do that is through your donations. Donations! Donations! Don't hit me. I thought it was a trash can. No, it's actually a collection plate. Pass it around, and if you can put a little something in it, man, I greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, those links that you saw before you just now, down in the description as well. So get comfortable with that and check that out and donate if you so choose and are able to. That being said, let's jump into winners and losers from week number 7. And we, like we always do, we start with the winners because we let the losers worry about losing. Everybody won this week, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time here because everyone won this week. And most people won big. So that just goes to show you, if you just made smart selections, if you've been watching this league for the last month, you didn't even have to watch the entirely, just watch it for the last month. You could have easily have went 13-3 this week. It was that easy of a week. If you just picked chalk all the way through, you only lost 2 games. And good for you, I guess. You know, I mean, I can't get but so excited. I can't get excited about this, though. Carmen Rana going 14-1. He was the fire winner and loser in week number 7. 14-1 ties the best ever mark on this channel. My man Hawk set that mark 2 years ago on this very channel at 14-1. So kudos to Carmen Rana. We've never had 15-1. We've never had 16-0. We've never had a perfect record, whether it be a week with 15 games, 13 games, as we have this week. We've never had an O in the right-hand column. This is as close as we've gotten. Like I said, tied with my man Hawk a couple of years back. So 14-1 for Carmen Rana. And what did I tell you about Carmen Rana? I told you this guy is the streakiest of all streaks in terms of prognosticators. Last week, he was 5-9, folks. Okay? He was 5-9 last week in the dunks, under the Mendoza line. And this week, he's 14-1. That's Carmen Rana in a nutshell. I told you about this guy, man. He's dangerous. And just like that, this man went from like 9th place to like 3rd place. So you put in the kind of work that he put in this week, and you see results immediately. Not immediately, immediately. Okay, so this man is shooting up the board, and come rankings time, he's going to be able to reap the benefits of going 14-1. So big ups to my man Carmen Rana. Like I said, I call him the silent assassin. This is why. Never says a word, just sends his picks in. And whether they're 5-9 or 14-1, you get the same Eli Manning stone face from my man Carmen Rana. Big ups to Carmen Rana for sending that heat my way in week number 7. You go to the 13-2 cats, and we'll just run these off quickly. Ricky L, Vegeta's Dark Side, BK 2010, Squints 1, and PD Pablo are all 13-2 in week number 7. Ricky L, his team got a big win on Monday night, and that capped off his outstanding week of picks at 13-2. And again, all of these cats, all they simply did was made the mistake of picking Carolina and Kansas City for the most part. If I had to guess, I'd say every one of those cats had the same 2 losses, which, like I said, if you just went chalk all the way across, that's what you should have ended up with in this week. It was that easy. This was not a hard week. You didn't have to make a lot of tough decisions. Literally, the Thursday night game was the toughest decision for most of you on your sheet. Raiders or Chiefs, most of us thought the Chiefs were going to get it done, and they almost did. Okay, Carmen Rana had Oakland, so that's why he went 14-1. For some of you, you almost were 14-1. For all of these cats here, they're almost 14-1. Vegeta's Dark Side, I asked for the bright side. You gave it to me this week. Appreciate that. BK Soldier continuing to march on. Squints 1. His team is hot. So is he. 13-2 this week. PD Pablo, finally, you break away from SpongeBob and become your own man. Good job, PD Pablo. All of y'all exceptional in week 7, 13-2. Big ups to y'all. And again, with those types of numbers, you're going to see results when you get to the scoreboard and the rankings a little bit later on. You put in that kind of work, and there's that big of a difference in separation between wins and losses in 1 week, you're going to see a huge jump over some people in the rankings for a lot of these guys. As we go on to the 12-3 crew in week number 7, Dark Fierce Fire Gaming, Brandon Sullivan, Big John 64-58, Jaleel, AJ Shadow 11, Leo Cease, Mark Vaughn, and Colton Campbell round out the 12-3 group from week 7. Dark Fierce Fire Gaming, part of the gaming community here on Winners and Losers. They all decided to go on a group trip, a gaming trip, out of the loser circle into the winner circle. Problem was nobody else wanted to chip in for the gas that it was going to take to drive from the losers, from Losersville all the way to the winner circle. And so Dark Fierce Fire Gaming said, I'll go by myself. Don't worry about it. And I don't want to hear anybody complaining about me winning while you still losing over there. So instead of it being a whole group effort from the gaming community to drive to the winner circle, because you know they're visiting, when this thing ratchets back up, Dark Fierce Fire Gaming will be back with the gaming community in Losersville. But he decided to go on a vacation. He went on a little trip. And 12-3, outstanding, man. Brandon Sullivan, 2nd week. I didn't know if he was going to come back. I'm not going to lie to you. He came back. I've seen more than my fair share of guys that didn't get it done week 1 and didn't come back for seconds. Thought he might have fell into that category. He said, nah, I'm back, man. Back like cooked crack. And he stayed away from, and I said, every hallway's got some crack in it. Don't get trapped in it. Brandon Sullivan stayed clear of it, got 12-3. Big ups to him. Big John, I'm still disappointed in Big John for not playing last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? Big John could have been one of the best in terms of up there in percentage. That week that he missed is going to hurt him come the end of this thing. And Big John has been as consistent as it gets. And for him to miss a week, really still disappointed in him. But this is what he's been doing all year. When he has turned in picks, Big John has probably hit the double digits in the winner's circle more than anyone else. If not the most, he's tied for it or just shy of whoever's hit the winner's circle the most. I'd have to go back and actually do some analytics to find out who's done that. But I guarantee you Big John is right up there. He's been outstanding this year with his picks. Jaleel needed this one bad. I told you there were some people that needed this week 7, like we need air to breathe, like fish need water. Jaleel was one of those cats. Jaleel was trending in the wrong direction, and I'm not sure that Jaleel's figured it out because this was such a cake week. But nonetheless, Jaleel needed this week. He can kind of breathe a sigh of relief, maybe take a little bit of the pressure off, and maybe he can go out and make some quality picks moving forward. But it was ugly for Jaleel for about a 3 to 4 week stretch there. He needed this one. AJ Shadow 11, another one of these youngsters in the game trying to come up. 12-3. That's how you come up, man. It's time to come up, hold up my weight, defend my crown. Guys, to lock it down. That's how you hold it down right there, AJ Shadow 11. You come up by going 12-3. That's how you roll with the big cats. That's a really good week. Again, cake week, but you still got to go out and get it done. You did, as well as Leo Cease. Very inconsistent with just sending in the picks. When he does, they're okay. They're spotty. This was a good week for Leo Cease. We'll see if he continues to A, send in the picks, B, have quality picks when he does send them in. Mark Vaughn, another guy that I think is starting to show me that he's good at this. He's got the potential to be really consistent at this. He's had some quality weeks of late, and so we'll see if the trend continues. Like I said, this is a cake week, but you still had to go out and put up the numbers. 12-3. That's big time for Mark Vaughn and Colton Campbell, another guy that slowly but surely creeping up the rankings. You know, he's one of those guys quietly you're not paying attention to, but he's going to backdoor a few of you cats, and you're going to look up, and he's going to go from 21st to 17, from 17 to 13, and you're going to look up and you're like, damn, where'd he come from? He's coming off the pace with weeks like 12-3. That's how you make a big jump from week to week. We'll see if that's something that continues for all of these cats moving forward. As we go to the 11-4 group, J-Moo, B.E. continues to be on top. R.J. West, Hawk, finally, boy, he needed that one bad. M.J., Mayor 10, Josh Cristiano, Tank, 3281, the Mister. Ginger Callum, another person that really needed a strong week, had been struggling big time. FBG Tony, Disco Jump Rope, Kevin! My man Kevin. Pep, Pepe, the YouTuber, my man Pep. Mr. Silent Nation, who has been hot of late. Matthew Lynch, another cat I've got to axe to grind with. We'll get to him a little bit later on, but let's run through these names quickly. J-Moo had been struggling, and J-Moo needed a week like this, and so he got it 11-4. That's big time, especially when you haven't seen the winner's circle in some time, and you've been under the Mendoza line, I'd guess multiple times. You've been a multiple offender under the Mendoza line, if I'm not mistaken. So this was big for J-Moo and a lot of you out there that had been struggling. B.E. continues to be the best this year. This is his third straight week on top. He shared that honor last week with Sean Mack. We'll find out if Sean Mack is still there or not. Obviously, if they were tied last week and Sean Mack's not a part of any of these upper tier groups, then they're not tied anymore. So B.E. is your leader in the clubhouse. Is he tied with someone else? Did someone else come up and get him? We'll see a little bit later on. But obviously, if you're smart, if you're using your brain, someone that would have had to have caught him from behind would have had to have been in one of these upper tier groups. So obviously my man BE is the leader in the clubhouse. Not by much, but he's still atop the leaderboard. And so BE continuing to put in work. He had a rough week last week. Rough week, but he bounced back in a major way with an 11-4 mark. You go to RJ West. Finally, he's got a compass, and it's taking him in the right direction. And so we'll see if the compass continues to guide him in the right direction as RJ West finally gets out of his funk and gets double digits. My man Hawk, slowly but surely starting to heal up. Someone shot Hawk. We still haven't found the culprit, but Hawk is healing up. And weeks like this heal you up a lot faster. And so at 11-4, Hawk is right back in the mix. And it's like he never left. And you put together another week or two like this, and all of a sudden, Hawk will be flying high once again. Good to see my man Hawk back on track. MJ Mayer, 10, newcomer, new entry, and 11-4. Great way to start. So with that being said, I expect to see him back next week. When you perform that well in your first week of picking games, normally they come back for more. It's the guys that go 8-6 or 7-7 or 7-8. Those are the ones that you probably won't see again. MJ Mayer off to a great start. Expect more picks from him next week. We'll find out, because this was a cake week. We'll find out what he's really made of when things get tough in the coming weeks, if he's still around. Same can be said with Josh Cristiano, another guy, new entry to the group, and looking forward to seeing if we're going to get picks from MJ and Josh moving forward. Both had outstanding starts here on Winners and Losers. Again, easy week. We'll see what happens when things get a lot tougher. But again, expect both of them to be back because of the success that they've experienced their first time around. Tank 3281, not a first timer, has been here for a while and has actually been making some quality picks throughout the season. He's another guy quietly making some power moves up the rankings. And he's another guy that if you slip up, he's continuing to put together some quality weeks and looking to make a move up the leaderboard as well. The Mister was another cat that needed a quality week. He has been struggling. As a matter of fact, I think with 11-4, he might have actually made it over 500 for the season, or he might have just fell short, one or the other. That just tells you how much the struggle was real for the Mister. And so 11-4 is huge for a person that is struggling like the Mister has since coming on board. So this was a big week for him. Hopefully this will build some confidence, and maybe he'll start to be able to stack up wins like bricks moving forward. Same can be said for Ginger Callum. Out of the gates, Ginger Callum was outstanding. First 2 weeks, phenomenal. After that, it's been straight in the gutter. Bad week after bad week after bad week after bad week for Ginger Callum. And so this 11-4 couldn't have come at a better time. Maybe this will snap Ginger Callum out of their funk, and maybe this will propel them to make good picks moving forward. FBG Tony, my man Tones, was like, hey, look, the spirit of Protect 428 lives inside of BFG Tony, and we're going to rectify this thing, and we're going to get it right. And that he did in week number 7, going 11-4, and he was another guy that desperately needed a big week, because like I said, I haven't seen my man FBG Tony struggle the way that he had over the last couple of weeks. So this was very refreshing to see him get back into the winner's circle. Disco Jump Rope, another new entry. Last week, I believe, was their first week, if not the week prior. But nonetheless, this is the best by far Disco Jump Rope has done since jumping into the fray. And again, sometimes it just takes 1 week to break that shell off, and then you kind of are able to go out and start making good picks. You start to smell yourself, and sometimes you got to teeter on that fine line of confidence and cockiness. You need that edge. Maybe this will be that week that gives Disco Jump Rope that edge. Kevin has been okay. This is one of Kevin's best weeks picking games, and like I said, for a lot of people, this was their best week, and so I want to see what Kevin does moving forward. 11-4 was a good week for Kevin. Same can be said for Pepe, the YouTuber, who actually has been putting in some work. Pepe, the YouTuber, has been really consistently putting in quality picks There's been a down week here and there, but it's been very spotty. He's been more consistent than consistently good than poor this year. So I look forward to Pepe, the YouTuber, being on this side of things more often than not. And so 11-4 from him doesn't surprise me one bit. Mr. Silent Nation has been talking very loudly of late, and I can appreciate that. I told him he needed to talk loudly and carry a big stick. That stick is getting bigger and bigger every week, and he's starting to talk through a megaphone now. He's no longer silent, and the nation behind him is extremely loud, and he's making some outstanding picks. He's been really good of late, and I want to continue to see him make these types of picks. Matthew Lynch, I told you I have an axe to grind. Go figure that Matthew Lynch would send me picks this week. It's almost as if he picks out the easiest weeks, sends me picks. We won't see him for another 3 to 4 weeks. And then he'll come back in week 11 when everyone's 13-3, and he'll send me picks that week, and he'll go 14-2. And it'll make his, when you look, I'll challenge you to this. When you look at the rankings and the standings, look at Matthew Lynch. Now, he's way down the list because he doesn't send his picks consistently. But look at his win percentage. He's got the best win percentage of anybody because he is picking, and obviously he doesn't know that any week is going to be easy, but it seems like he's systematically, very strategically picking specific weeks that turn out to be the easiest to send picks in. Go look at his win percentage. It's ridiculous. It's off the charts. He did it again. But I'm not impressed because unlike all of us who are going through these tough weeks where all these upsets, all of us who are in the trenches week after week, dodging bullets that the NFL is sending our way, he's coming out at the end after all the gunfire has ceased and said, hey, let's go to war. No, you sit your ass down. You don't go to war. Matter of fact, you want to go to war? Go stand on the front line. And if they start shooting, you be the one that starts shooting back. We'll sit back behind you. You take all of the gunfire that's coming because you had it easy. While we were out here busting our ass trying to find wins, you were out in the house, in the AC, chilling with your feet up. We were out here sweating trying to go get dubs. And you were out in the house chilling with your feet up. Now you want to come out here and get wins when the coast is clear. Can't respect what Matthew Lynch is doing, but I do respect the picks that he sends in when he does send them in, and he did it again at 11-4. Let's go on to all the cats that found a way to get in, and like I said, if you decided to be special a few times, but you knew where your limit was, then you, my friends, were 10-5 this week, and this list consists of Isaac Schnook, AP9000, Sad Colts fan, Alex, Young Mellow, Cloud, Brown Shoe T2, Smokin' J, Cartoon Novak PG-13, Eduardo O'Neill, Money Miz, Kanye the God, Andrew Kim, and yours truly. So, 10-5, not the best in a week where, to me, 13-2 was, if you just pick chalk, was given. That was a given. Okay, that was a given if you just pick chalk. 10-5 meant you went outside the box a couple of times, and you know it could have been something like Indy against Jacksonville. It could have been anything that got you. But at the end of the day, you knew where your limit was. You had 3 freebies, 3 gimmies where you could say, all right, these ones, I toss them out there. If I get a win, I got to win. If I don't, it's going to cost me, but I know I can't go outside of my 3-game limit. And so Isaac Schnook, I think he's been struggling, if I'm not mistaken. And you know what? I take that back. I think he's been pretty solid, actually. And so 10-5, quality week. I mean, I'm looking at this list, and it's a lot of people that needed a week. Just needed to get on the right side of things, needed to be in the winning circle. I could pick off at least 5 to 7 cats on this list, me included. You know, I needed one, Andrew Kim, my man AK could use one. Kanye the God is struggling, man. We've been talking college dropout for the last few weeks with him. Money Miz 14 went from talking cold hard cash. I'm talking cold hard cash to zipping it up and throwing away the damn key. Smoking Jay, we've been talking about the good stuff that he's been smoking, that perp, all that stuff that he's been rolling up, little bit of PCP, all that stuff he's been lacing his stuff with. It's good to know. And I told him if he needs help, just follow me. I can take you to the promised land. And he took a little bit of my advice. So good to see Smoking Jay. Young Mello, again, basketball season is started. It's upon us. And it's good to see him in the gym. And I said, hey, look, man, you won't shooting with me in the gym? Huh? But you won't shooting with me in the gym? And so Mello was shooting with me in the gym. Good to see him putting up a few J's and knocking them down. Cloud was struggling. You know, big time struggling. Could use a week like this. And so there's a lot of us, you know, the sad Colts fan, just the fact that his team is the Indianapolis Colts and they're struggling, he could use a week like this. So a lot of cats up here struggling that could use a week like this. I don't know if Isaac Snook was one of them. I actually think Snook has been actually putting up some quality weeks here. AP9000, another one of us that could use a week like this. So again, Alex, a newcomer. I've been seeing Alex in the comment section. I think this is the first time I actually got picks from Alex, though. So that's a nice debut if, in fact, this is your first time. I don't recall getting picks from Alex prior to this. So nice debut for Alex. And being that he hit double digits and is in the winner's circle, I expect Alex to be back next week with more picks. Same for Cartoon Novak PG-13. Brand new to the show. Appreciate you sending in your picks. You did enough to get double digits. Wasn't the prettiest, but it was gritty. And most importantly, it was a dub. And so I expect to see Cartoon Novak back next week. Brown Shoe T2 has been lighting it up this year. So him being 10-5 and in the winner's circle, I'm actually not surprised anymore. Early on in the season, when Brown Shoe T2 was putting up numbers, I was like, what is going on? What is this world coming to when BST2 is putting up numbers? He's getting buckets. Now when he drops 27, 9 dimes, and 7 rebounds, I'm like, that's just BST2 going out there and filling the stat sheet, man. So 10-5, not surprised. BST2 has been putting it down this year, man, and filling up the stat sheet just about every week. Eduardo O'Neal, I think just a couple of weeks ago, Eduardo O'Neal was one of the worst cats at like 5 and 9 or something like that. So again, another one of these cats that could use a week like this, and he's really inconsistent. Much like Carmen Rana, the numbers fluctuate with Eduardo O'Neal, man. 1 week, 5 and 9, the next week, 10-5. Next week, he might be 7 and 6. The week after that, he could easily turn it around and be 11 and 3. So you never know what you're getting from Eduardo O'Neal, but nonetheless, all of us 10-5. Me, I'm just happy to be here, man. You know what I mean? Like I've been absent from the winner's circle for 3 weeks. 3 weeks is a long time for me, and I almost didn't know my way home. I was lost, but now I am found. And I don't plan on making too many more trips to the other side, man. It's dark, it's lonely, and it's a cold, cold road on that loser side of things. And it's a long way back home, man. For a lot of us, that one in week number 7, it's a long way home, but we found our way home. For my man AK, for Kanye the God, for Money Miz, AP9000, man, Ginger Callum. It's been a long time for some of us, okay? So, Hawk, you know, it's been a long road back, but we back like cook crack. And so I'm looking forward to us staying over here. And those are your winners for week 7. Pat yourself on the back, man. We all get participation trophies this week. We all won. And it's a lot of us. But with that being said, there were still some people who just didn't get it. And all they had to do was show up. They didn't even have to get in the game. They just needed to show up, and they would have got a participation trophy. And so we go from all the winners to the cats that just didn't show up. They didn't post. We're going on to the losers now, man. And again, this was a week where you had no business losing. None. And I'm amazed at some of y'all and how you found a way to botch week 7 so horribly. How could you? Let's get to some of these now. I'm not going to kill the 9-6 cats too bad, but bottom line is you went 9-6 in a week where 13-2 was chalk. 10-5 was as bad as you should have done if you just followed the rules to the game. You know the rules to the game, then play. The only person that I'm not going to kill for going 9-6 is MC. And you'll know who MC is when I get to it. Caden Boyer. Dark Sealer 1995. Andrew Trigg. Broncos Kid. Sin Day Co. Do W2 Elite Atlas. And if you're watching and you want me to change your name officially to 3-11 Atlas, let me know so I can make the switch. I didn't think you wanted to have that stigma attached to you. We are willing to sweep that under the rug now because we've had another person join you at 3-11. And so you've shamed yourself enough by temporarily changing your name. If you want to change it back to Do W2 Elite Atlas, by all means, go ahead and do so. It's okay with us now. If you want to remain 3-11 Atlas, maybe that's motivation for you moving forward because that was your lowest point and you never want to go back there again. And looking at that name reminds you of just how bad you were and how far you've come. Let me know. I will change that name officially for you. Just give me the thumbs up and I'll make it happen. Tucktown, AZ88, Sean Mack, and MC8989, RG3, hashtag Travis B are all 9-6ers. So MC is my man Sean Mack. Mack Attack. And what MC stands for is Mr. Consistent. I know what I'm getting out of him. 9 every week. I told you last week. He's going to 9 you to death. He's not, and I just told you my man BST2 is putting up numbers. He's getting buckets this year. Sean Mack will never be the guy that scores 20, but still he scored. He's not putting up 20 a game. Hell, if he scores over 20, he had a hell of a night. Probably knocked down about 4 or 5 threes. He probably had a hell of a night beyond the arc because he's not the type of guy that's going to put up 20 most nights. But what he is going to do is he's going to hustle. He's going to do all the dirty work. He's going to fill up the stat sheet. 9 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. That's what Sean Mack does every week. You know what you're getting night in and night out. He's going to play 30 minutes, give you the same 9 points. The rebounds may go anywhere from 7 to 12, but you know he's going to hit the boards and he's going to hustle. All right. Matter of fact, 30 minutes is too much because he's a high efficiency player. He's doing all of this in only 18 minutes a night. You know what you're getting from Sean Mack. He get in the game. Yeah, he may have 4 fouls in only 18 minutes, but it's 9 points, 8 rebounds, 5 steals, 4 assists, and two blocks in just 18 minutes. How the hell did he do that in 18 minutes? Don't ask me. I don't know, but the man is consistent. Caden Boyer. He just can't buy a bucket. This was his opportunity to get out of the doghouse and get back on top of the doghouse along with Woodstock and lay down and just chill to the next episode. But Caden Boyer decided it was okay to be a loser and stay in the doghouse. By all means, knock yourself out. Dark Sealer 1995. He's put up some quality weeks. I got to check, though, because I think he's put up some quality weeks. I'm not going to kill him. But then again, I think he's been struggling, too. So let me see what's going on. I think he's been inconsistent with sending me his picks. That's why I really don't know what he's been doing. Because I haven't been getting his picks every week like I'm supposed to. Let's see. Yeah, the last time he sent me picks, he was 7-7. So this is about right for him. 9-6 in a week where you're supposed to be 13-2. He probably deserves 9-6. So I don't feel bad for him. Take the L, keep it moving. Andrew Trigg, this is a devastating blow to your hopes of catching the real Andrew. And really, it's a situation where the real Andrew, please stand up. And you had a chance to say, hey, it's me. And you went 9-6. And AK, the original Andrew, stood up and said, nah, I'm the real deal over here, man. And he went 11-4. And so, or excuse me, 10-5. And so this, for the second week in a row, you take a step back in your quest to catch Andrew Kim. And if you're going to catch him, and this wasn't as bad as last week where I think you were back behind him by like 2 or 3 games. This is only a 1-week drop up, but again, a chance to get in the winner's circle, a chance to have 13, 11, 12 wins, and you get 9. You ain't serious about catching Andrew Kim. You can't be. Not with weeks like this. You can't afford to botch a week like this and only get 9 out of it. You didn't get the most out of this rag. You needed to squeeze this rag and get the most out of this rag and fill up the bucket with as many dubs as possible. There's still some wins left in that rag. You didn't squeeze it tight enough. And so you don't want it bad enough. Bronco Kid, look, you were getting pissed on. The ultimate piss cup last week, okay? You were yellow. Golden rock yellow, okay? So for you to have 9 this week, that's a win for you. Even though you losing, in your mind, you won. Now, that's a loser's mentality to still be losing but say, hey, this is a win because I didn't lose as bad as I lost last week. Hey, anything you got to do to make yourself feel better, go right ahead. Sendeco. First off, let me make a correction because one thing I don't like doing is making a mistake that puts a man under the Mendoza line. So let me be the first to apologize to you. Okay, my man set me straight in the comment section and said, look, bruh, I was 7-7 last week. I had to double check just to make sure I wasn't tripping. I had him at 6-8 last week. So not only did I dock the man a dub, but I gave him an extra loss that put him below the Mendoza line. No man should have to suffer that fate if they didn't earn it. So I apologize, Sendeco, for this week and this week alone. No syllables necessary for your name. You're Sendeco this week. I made a mistake. That's my mea culpa to you. I apologize. But that being said, the honeymoon is over. In a week that you should have went 12-3, 11-4, you went 9-6. So I reinstate the syllables, and you're now Sendeco once again because you lost. But I did add the win to your total. I did take the loss off of your total. So now you're back to where you belong in the overall standings. So again, my apologies, but I let the losers worry about losing. So you're once again Sendeco. You see how short-lived that was? That could have been something that stood for a week or two because of my error. But because you decided it was okay to be a loser this week, no mercy. Do W2 Elite Atlas, you've suffered enough on this program. And just a couple of weeks ago, you were 3-11. So I'm not going to kill you. You're already dead in my eyes. So what I'm going to do is just tell you, be better. This was an opportunity for you to take the inverse of what you did a couple of weeks ago and flip it around and be 11-4. And instead you went and you were trying to be special, too special. You ended up 9-6. I'm not going to kill you because, like I said, you're already dead. I don't need to be charged with something that's, look, matter of fact, that's double jeopardy. You can't charge me for the same crime twice. You've already been killed before. You've already been killed. I hate when people say killed. There's no T in killed. You've been murdered already. They can't charge me with murdering you again. Tucktown AZ88. Again, you needed this week. You needed it just like a lot of us needed this week. You needed this week just as bad as we did. And you didn't take advantage. I'm disappointed in you. I already told you about Sean Mack, Mr. Consistency. MC8989. This is an opportunity for you to kind of jump up and do some big things for yourself. The first 2 weeks of you sending picks, you were as average could get. if I'm not mistaken, the last 2 weeks you were 7-7 twice in a row, which put you at 14-14 overall. This was an opportunity for you to kind of spread the wins away from the losses and create a little bit of separation. Maybe go 10-5, maybe go 11-4, put a little bit of distance between the wins and the losses. And you said, nah, 3's enough. Well, 3 is still a loser in my book. And so you're 0 for 3. 3 weeks up, 3 weeks losing. RG3 hashtag, I told you, he's a loser for life. He's going to live on this side of, he lives in Loserville. He could have got in with the gaming community and went in on that trip with Dark Fierce Fire Gaming. He could have put in. He was being cheap. All the endorsements that he's had throughout his career. No, you're not playing in the league. No, you're not still getting a check from Subway and all your other endorsements, Adidas and all that stuff. But you made enough money in that short period of time that you should have been able to throw in a couple bucks for gas with Dark Fierce Fire Gaming and took a trip out to the winning side of things. But your cheap ass didn't want to give up the bread, and now you're still in Losersville where you belong and where you'll stay. And Travis B, first time on the show, would have loved for you to have done what some of the other first timers did. MJ, Josh, to name a few or a couple, but you didn't. You showed up, you lost. 9-6, not bad, but it's not winning. And that's what we're about. We're about winning on this program. Either you win or you lose. There's no in between. There's no gray area. It's black and it's white. You win or you lose. You lost. So the question then becomes, will you come back? If you don't, no hair off my back. If you do, I look forward to seeing you bounce back like round ball and find a way to get to the winner's circle. We'll see what you're made of. That being said, we go to the next group of losers, and these cats went 8-7. And how you go 8-7 in a week that was tailor-made for double digits, I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't have the answers. But here's that cast of characters. Worst ever. Toe J-Cam Man 99, Enrique Valencia, a.k.a. Enrique Iglesias. Joe Sharp rounds out the group. Worst ever. 1 week, you're not making the worst picks ever. The next week, you kind of are. Make up your damn mind. What are you going to do? What are you going to be? Are you going to be good or are you going to be bad? Which one is it? Because this isn't the worst ever. I've seen you do worse than this. But I know you are capable, so much more capable than this. The last couple of weeks, you've been outstanding. How is it that in some tough weeks with a ton of upsets, you managed to make it out of the scrum and the fray basically unscathed? And in a week where there was little to no resistance, you find a way to get boxed up, sliced and diced, end up in the ER. How? I don't know. Makes no sense to me. Toe I got no words for you, man. None. I think you were outstanding last week. And to see what you did this week, I just find it hard to believe. Worst ever was 8-6 last week. That was a good number. Let me see where Toe is. I might be tripping. Toe might have been, he was 6-8 last week, so this shouldn't surprise me. I got no words for you. I really don't. I mean, this was an easy week. And 7 losses? Really? J-Cam Man 99, your first time up, not impressive at all. This is the type of performance that might scare you away and you might not come back. And if you don't, I totally get it. And like I said before, no one likes getting their ass kicked. It's not fun. And 8-7 in a week where 13-2 really was the benchmark, and 10-5 should have been the floor. Somehow you ended up under the floor. How? I don't know. So if you don't come back, I understand. I really do. Enrique Iglesias. Bailamos. Let the rhythm take you over. Bailamos. Te quiero, amo mío. Bailamos. Dance. Enrique, dance. Damn, nobody needed this week more than you. You had a chance to dance to the winner's circle, all the way to the winner's circle. Ease on down the road. You had a chance to ease on down the yellow brick road. You decided to pick the goddamn Colts again. When will you learn? Every week you complain to me about Chuck. Every week, even in wins, you complain about Chuck. And every week you still pick the damn Colts. You knew you won't beat Jacksonville at home. You had to know. You deserve 8-7. What are you doing? Just keep dancing, man. Bailamos. Keep dancing. Dancing in the loser circle. You are our entertainment in the loser circle. We love watching you dance in the losers circle. In Losersville. You're the Loserville jester. You make us laugh. Dance, Enrique. Dance. Vamos. Joe Sharp. We've been talking. We've been having a running conversation, running dialogue over the last few weeks about being friends. Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. One we can depend on. Let's be friends. I thought we could be friends. And I said, hey, Joe, I'm not staying over here much longer. If you want to be friends, we can be friends. But you got to come with me. I'm not staying on this side. Now, I said, if you want to have a permanent residence in Losersville, knock yourself out. I was just visiting. And I didn't like staying as long as I did. It was miserable. Almost felt like I was being held captive. Had to get out. And I told you, you were more than welcome to come, man. But you didn't want to come. And I can't make someone do something they don't want to do. You've heard the old adage, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I can't make you want to be friends with me. I wanted your friendship. I don't know you anymore, Joe. You're dead to me. I can't continue to associate with losers. Because then it's guilty by association. I don't roll with losers, man. I don't do it. I don't practice bad habits. So, sorry, Joseph. It's been real. Peace. I'm out. And finally, I don't know how the hell you managed to do this in a week so easy. But somebody had the audacity to go 5-10. Would you believe that? Who in the hell? You ask. Larry G's the best. No, Larry, you're not the best. As a matter of fact, you're the worst this week, Larry. You effing suck. So do your picks. Now, I'm a little bit more perturbed with Larry just because Larry picks and chooses when he wants to show up. And unlike Matthew Lynch, who at least when he shows up, he's like Matthew Lynch and Larry G's are like the cats that never come to class, except for the day of the test. And you would expect when a guy shows up for just the day of the test, never comes to class any other day. You haven't seen this guy in a week and a half. But it's test day and they show up. Matthew Lynch is the one that still manages to get a B+. You're like, how the fuck did he get a B+? He's never even here. And Larry G's is the cat that shows up and he gets a straight up F. Like, yeah, you deserve an F. Your ass ain't never here. You ain't seen their note. You ain't turned in one homework nor a classwork assignment. You deserve that 47, bruh. And then you just look at Matthew Lynch, you're like, how the hell you get an 89? Bastard. Larry G's, he deserves 5-10. Because he don't show up enough. He don't put in the work like we do to be on the winner's side of things. You don't get to show up and show out. That's not what this is, especially this year. You got to put in work. And Larry G's, you have not been the best version of yourself. And so while all these people around you have bronze medals around their neck, yeah, they lost. Everybody in the winner's circle got golds and silvers. You, my friend, you get the honorary piss cup. Enjoy. Sip it slow. May you throw up all over your picks. Vomit off the piss cup, my friend. Enjoy. Savor it. Swish it around your damn mouth. Have the taste of urine resonate throughout your whole entire body. Spit it out and then come correct next time. Don't go 4 or 5 weeks without sending pics and then think you're going to show up and go 10-5. No, you go 5-10. You must have been watching baseball or something. We do this over here. All you had to do was show up. That's it. Show up. You would have got a participation trophy just like the rest of us. But you didn't. You didn't show up. And now when it's time for everybody to get their trophies, you ain't been here since week 2. And now when all the kids are ecstatic and they're going up and they're shaking the coach's hand and they're getting their trophy and their little necklace, you're like, where my certificate at? Where my trophy? You don't get a trophy. You know what you get? We point you in the direction of the piss cup. 5-10. Are you kidding me? How the hell did you manage to go 5-10 in a week where 13-2 was the ceiling and the floor was 10-5? You got me. One thing's for sure, Larry G's, you are not, I repeat, not the best. And with that being said, let's take a look at the overall standings and see where everyone is after 7 weeks of play here on Winners and Losers. All right, I want to get to a few comments, and then we'll get to my picks. I didn't get to make my picks. I hate doing this. I hate not having my picks ready. I've already made my selections, but I didn't get to do a video like I like to do and get out. So a little upset about that, but I'll get to a few comments and let's see. Pepe the YouTuber says, Astros tied it up. I am currently having a heart attack. Yeah, they hit a home run off of Jansen, Kenley Jansen, which never happens. But I am not watching it. The Mister says, is that your girl in the intro of your program opening? No, it is not. Kevin says, let your girl take over the show for a week. She could actually talk some football, which I asked, which is the crazy part. She actually, she knows just enough to be dangerous. Not enough to be a hardcore football fan, but enough to be dangerous. So she probably could jump up here and chop it up with y'all for a week. Cloud says, we understand if life is getting hectic. Just postpone when you're feeling right. It's all good, man. I mean, I always push through. I'm not an excuses guy. You've heard me say that on a number of occasions. It may cross my mind, but it's a fleeting thought. I never cancel unless I just can't do it. And it has to be a real dire situation for me to be like, nah, I can't do it. So Caden Boyer says, family first, man. We understand. No doubt. I'm a huge family guy. So it's always family first. Cloud says, I'm not going to front. I thought San Francisco would upset Dallas. Boy, was I wrong. I thought it would be closer than what it was, but I knew they weren't going to win the game. I thought they would at least be competitive, though. Kevin says, I don't know if I should be happy about this week since I'm mostly at 6 wins every week, but this was an easy week. Kevin, listen to me, man. You get a chance, and let's see, what did you do this week? You went 11-4. Kevin, you get a chance to get double digits. Don't apologize for getting double digits. It was an easy week. You're not giving back any of your dubs. You take all 11 of those, and you take them all the way to the bank, and you cash that check, and you insert and deposit those 11 wins into your total, and you keep it moving, bro. Yeah, it was an easy week, but you still saw it was people that went 8-7. Somebody went 5-10. For as easy as this week was, that could have been you, but it wasn't. Celebrate. Yeah, it was an easy week, and I hate weeks like this because everybody wins, but you don't feel bad. You don't take your 11 wins and give them back. No, you take that check and you deposit it in the account, man. Squint says, bolt up, fam, shock the world. Squints, you've been hot lately, man. Just like your bolts, man. You're hot. But this week, I think you might get your ass cooled off along with your bolts. We're going to find out. Kaden Boyer says, Jets can't even do a tank right. They're not trying to tank, man. And like I told you, their head coach, Todd Bowles, deserves consideration for head coach of the year. When he's not going to win, nor should he, but he should get 2 or 3 first place votes. Just 2 or 3. Just enough to let everybody know that this man is coaching his ass off, because the Jets were supposed to be like the 49ers and the Browns right now, winless. They were supposed to be one of the last teams to win a game. They won 3 straight games and almost won a 4th and a 5th. They could have easily beat New England. We're up 14-0 in that game. They could have easily and should have beat Miami. They were up 14 points in the 4th quarter. Man's doing an outstanding job in New York. John Perez says, how do you feel about this Martavius Bryant trade stuff? Do you think the Redskins could trade for him? Is he too much of a headache for Gruden to handle? The Steelers have already said they're not trading him. They said, look, we've invested too much time, energy, and resources in Bryant. We've stuck it out through all the suspensions. We've taken all of those on the chin. They've affected our team, and yet we've stuck by him. He's not going anywhere. He's going to sit down. He's going to shut up. He's going to take his medicine like we had to when he couldn't follow the rules and stay eligible. He's going to sit down and he's going to take his medicine. So they put him on the practice, not a practice squad. He was on the scout team. He's going to continue to be on his team. He will not play. They probably won't even have him active on Sunday versus the Detroit Lions, but he's not going anywhere. And I don't think that the Redskins would trade for Martavius Bryant, but we'll see what happens. I don't see the Steelers dealing. Dre True Statement says, "Yeah, I'm about to." He said, "Yeah, I'm about to. I'm gonna brag this week because I wanted to jump back in the winner's circle when everyone else had a bad week. Hashtag easy week. You should have. You could have. You of all people could have used one under your belt." The Mister says, "Would you consider an all-time rankings and winners bracket like the one you have now from all seasons combined next year?" I've got some big things coming down the pipeline for you guys. It's so big. I'll just say this. It's so big that I've got to get a whole bunch of legal stuff straightened out before I can even release it. That's how big it is. And if I can't get it cleared, I may not be able to do it. That's how big it is. So just know your man Louie T is working hard behind the scenes for you guys to make this thing that much better for you down the line. BE says, "The crown is mine." It is, man. You've been hot. And 3 straight weeks of you donning the crown, man. You've been on it. So, yeah. The Cubone says, "So proud of my Rams this season. They haven't been this good since I was in elementary school. What do you think has been their key to success so far?" I think it's Whitworth. It's a whole mindset, but it starts with your head coach, the boy wonder himself. I told you Sean McVay was going to come in and change the game. He's instilled confidence in Jared Goff, which in turn has made things easier on Todd Gurley, which all of it comes back to the upgrading of the offensive line first and foremost, because without a better offensive line, there's no Goff having time to survey the field, make right decisions. There's no Todd Gurley having rushing lanes, but everything comes back to the head coach, Sean McVay, because he came and he changed the culture. He changed the identity of this football team. They went out, made some great moves in the offseason, and now all of a sudden you see a different football team, a different product on the field. And give some credit. You went out, you made a ton of moves. You went out and took the Bills starting receivers, made them your own. You went out, you drafted some tight ends. They've been big for you this year. You went out, you upgraded the offensive line. Those guys have come in and been massive for you. And you look at the defense, you go out, you go get a corner. You give away one, you get one. And I think this team right now, the way that it stands, this is a team that you can get excited about. Because even if you don't win the division, I don't think you're ready to win the division yet. I still think Seattle's going to find a way to take this thing. But even if you don't win the division, you got a shot at a wild card. And even if you don't make that happen, which would be disappointing because right now you're playing such good football. But even if you couldn't make that happen, there's a building block here. A real building block. One of substance. Not like the Fisher years where you tease everybody by going 8-8 or 7-9. There's going to be a legitimate 9-7 building block here for you if you don't make the postseason. A legitimate 10-6 building block. Even if you miss the postseason at 10-6, there will be a legitimate building block for you moving forward. So I think that there's a lot of positives to take away from the start to the season, but it's all about consistency. And you still got a ton of games in the division, 2 against Arizona, which you should be able to win both now without Carson Palmer. Another game against Seattle, another game against San Francisco. That one was close the first time. So there's still a lot of football. You got the Eagles still left on the calendar. So there's still a lot of games that you got to go out and win. We'll see what you do moving forward. Dre True Statement says, "My picks must be ending up in your spam 2 weeks straight. I haven't been on here." Yeah, they must have been. I'll go and check after this is over with. But I did not see your picks last week nor this week. So they must be ending up in the spam. I thought you just quit. I really did. I thought you quit. And if I find out that your picks were there, what I'll do is if I can verify that they were there in a timely manner before the games took place, I'll go ahead and input your totals into the overall score on the spreadsheet. So I'll let you know. Reese says the Panthers signed Roberto Aguayo, Lou. Watch him become a stud kicker now. We'll see. He was lacking confidence. Maybe this time away allowed him to go straighten up and get his confidence back. He can't kick long kicks. He doesn't have a big leg. He fooled everybody by being the most accurate kicker in college football history. A lot of his kicks were from 45 yards and in. But he can get his accuracy back. He was just lacking confidence. We'll see what happens. Reese says, I think Lovie Smith is dressing up as Mike Smith for Halloween this year. Stop your nonsense, Ree. Ree says, Dirk Cutter is losing the locker room, Lou. TJ Ward, Chris Baker, and Gerald McCoy have spoken out about being disgruntled. We better turn this shit around now. I told you I've never been a Dirk Cutter fan. To me, he's an offensive coordinator at best. I don't think he's head coaching material. And that's part of the reason why I had you guys taking a step back this year at 7-9. Too many moving parts. And I don't believe in Dirk Cutter. I didn't believe in him as the offensive coordinator of the Falcons. When they blew the lead in the playoffs twice in 2012, once against Seattle, but was able to hold on. And again against the 49ers. And in that one, they weren't able to come back and win. So I've never been a Dirk Cutter fan, and we'll see what happens. John Perez says, question about the Bengals. What is up with rookie John Ross? Is he struggling on the field, struggling in practice, or is it the injuries that are holding him back? It's a little bit of all of that, but more so the latter. The injuries are what has really crippled him, and that was his problem in college. He had one real healthy season, and he's been a guy that's been banged up a ton, and he's torn his ACL multiple times. He's a guy that just can't stay healthy. When he's healthy, he's dangerous, but he's got to stay healthy first. And for a guy that wasn't a real receiver, I mean, when I say that, I mean he wasn't a receiver 3 years at UW. You know, he was a receiver for 1 year. He was really more of a return man the first couple of years, and he was fighting injuries. He had one real season at receiver, and so he's still learning the nuances of the position. And with all the time he's missed in camp and in the offseason with injuries, and then missing more time during the season, hard to get on the field when you haven't had enough reps to be familiar and comfortable with what's going on. So it's a little bit of all of that stuff, but more so the injuries than anything else. Reese says, Lou, I saw a stat today that my Bucks are first ranked passing attack in the entire league, but we're also dead last in total defense. I already told you I've been disappointed with your defense this year, and you keep pointing to the injuries. That's fine, all right? But bottom line is you got to find a way to get it done. No excuses. And the whole passing stat is misleading because I think it's based off of yards. Yards don't always equate to points. You can be the first to attest to that. It's part of the reason why you didn't beat the Patriots. And that's part of the reason why you're sitting at 2-5 or at 4 right now, and possibly staring 2-5 in the face after this game versus the Panthers in week number 8. So we'll see what happens. Alex says, I think it was my second week, but when I watched Winners and Losers, you didn't have me on despite putting picks in. I looked back on my old sheets. I didn't see any picks from you because I thought I saw you before. I'll go back and check to see if I just made a mistake. Because I swear I've seen your name before, but then I always see you commenting. And that's what I thought. Well, maybe I'll just remember his thumbnail and his name from when he comments, but not necessarily sending me pics. So I'll go back and check that out. Alex says, I'll definitely keep doing picks, though. Not sure how I didn't know about winners and losers till now. I guess it's because I mainly came to your channel before and after the draft. Yeah, that's why you got to stay in tune to what's going on. Don't just come and pick off a few videos during draft time. Stay in tune all year round, man. Good content all year round. Caden Boyer says, the loser section is like my second home now, unfortunately. Yeah, it is, man. I need you to I need you to step your game up. You've been pretty content with chilling over in Losersville. Reese says, Lou, I haven't watched much Carolina this year, but I hear their offense is sputtering. I like our chances. Got to kick them while they're down. They just know how to beat you guys. And every year it seems like Cam Newton never plays against you. You usually get Derek Anderson. Well, this year you're getting Cam. And you have a really bad defense. And this would be the week, if you're the Panthers, both of you should be licking your chops. Their offense is horrible. Your defense is horrible. Someone's got to win in that department. Someone's got to win that battle. Whoever wins that battle is probably going to win the game. You're at home. You'd like to think that you guys should be able to take care of business, but there's just something about the Panthers playing against you guys that I don't know if I like or not. We'll see. But their offense, you haven't watched much Carolina. I can assure you of this. Their offense is definitely sputtering, but I'll also throw in this caveat. Their offense has been much better on the road than it has been at home. Just go see their New England and Detroit contests for proof of that. And you can take it a step further in San Francisco as well. 3 of their 4 wins have come on the road this year. They've been horrible at home. 3 of their 4 wins have come on the road, and arguably those have been their 3 best performances offensively. So we'll see what happens. Reese says, on an arbitrary note, I am so happy touchdown celebrations are back. Me too, Ree. Couldn't have said it better myself. PD Pablo says, you got to give one freebie week, like a bye week. What I said I was going to do, and I said this to myself, is that for everyone that has missed a week, if you send me your picks in 5 consecutive weeks, I will then fill in one of your missed weeks with a flat 7, and whatever one of the weeks you missed was, whatever 500 is. If it's an even number, then you'll get a split, a 7 and 7, 8 and 8. If you missed an odd number week where there were 15 games, you'll get 8 and 7. So I said I was going to do that. So we'll see what happens. Travis B says, I hear you, brother. Picks are already in for this week. I got you. Okay. Like that. Like that from you. Appreciate that. All right. Let's see now. All right, here we go. The funny thing, and this is my man Ree again, the funny thing is, Lou, everybody said if Jameis stepped his game up and cut back on the turnovers, it would yield more wins. The thing is, he has, and we're still losing. It's bizarre. It's because your defense took a monumental step back. That's the difference. The same thing was said of the Redskins. We said the same thing. If the defense takes a step forward with the way our offense is, we should win more games. Well, first of all, the Redskins are better than a lot of us thought we would be at this point, but we're disappointed because we've had opportunities to win games and we've let them slip through our fingers. And so while 3-3 isn't disappointing, and we acknowledge that this Redskins team is pretty good, it's not as good as it could have been. And the defense is better, but the offense is taking a step back. And it's the direct opposite for you. Offense is better in terms of Jameis cutting down on turnovers and moving the football down the field, but your field goal kicking situation hasn't been great, and your defense isn't better. Take a step back. So that's how you don't see the results show up in the wins and losses column when you think that the adjustments that you have made should yield you more victories. Reese says, no doubt, Lou, family first. Without family, who the hell are we? Absolutely. I'm a family guy, so definitely. I'm family first all day, every day. Reese says, I'm happy for ASJ, Lou. He seems to be cleaning up his act. He has mad potential. Yeah, I am too. He had a little bit of an issue off the field that he needed to clean up. I think he's found himself a home in New York, and he's playing well, man. And I'm happy to see that because, like you said, guy's got a ton of talent. Kevin said, you told me to celebrate, so whoop, whoop. That's right, man. Celebrate your dub, man. Go get that. Pepe, the YouTuber, says, we won. Let's go. How am I still breathing? Must have been a hell of a game, man. Eric Villa says, Astros won. So, with that being said, congratulations to the Houston Astros for tying the series back up at 1 apiece. And if I'm not mistaken, in the World Series, the format is 2-3-2. If it is, you got a chance to wrap that thing up by winning the rest of your games at home. I hate 2-3-2 though. If I earned home field advantage, it needs to be 2-2-1-1-1. That pivotal game 5 needs to be at my crib, not yours. But we'll see. I don't know. Dre True Statement says, quitting isn't in my blood, bro. LOL. That's good to know. I know a lot of cats that they have no problems quitting whatsoever. Mr. TNA says, the Bucks are sabotaging my record this year. Stop picking them. Know when to hold them and when to fold them, man. Stop picking those boys. Mr. TNA says, this is a strange year until now with a lot of surprises more than ever. It has been. This has been one of the most unpredictable NFL seasons I've ever seen. And I've been watching the NFL for over 2 decades, over 20 years, faithfully. And I can't begin to tell you how crazy this year has been. Eric Villa says, Texans Seahawks is going to be a good one. Yeah, I believe it will be. Sean McVay is doing wonders in L.A., says Mr. TNA. He is. Absolutely. Mr. TNA says, I finally get here, Lou. In Romania at 7 in the morning. Greetings from Transylvania. Hey, what's going on, TNA, man? It's always good to have you around. I know that the time difference is a killer for you. Glad you were able to join us tonight, man. It's been a while, too. And I got all your tweets as well. John Perez says, I got a couple of questions about the Redskins and Giants. Will we be seeing more of Junior Gillette this Sunday against the rival Cowboys? And could this be NFL? Could this be the NFL's or this be the Eli's last NFL season? And could this NFL season be Eli's last, is what you said. To answer your first question about Junior Gillette, I believe that you'll see more of him. I think they're starting to try to work him in more, give him more snaps. And with the injury to Jonathan Allen, I think that's going to open up more opportunities for Gillette to get on the field. Because as we saw against the Eagles, they kicked Kerrigan inside on one play, and it worked. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of that with Gillette outside and Kerrigan kicking inside to defensive tackle. So I think you will see more of Gillette moving forward because we need more pressure. And I think as he plays more, I think he'll start to become more and more comfortable as the season progresses. And as for Eli, you'd like to think so, but until the Giants kind of kick him out of their facility like they did kind of Tom Coughlin, like real low-key, push him out the door by drafting a quarterback and saying, hey, we want to take a look at this guy. I don't know if Eli's going anywhere. I think they're going to have to push him out the door because who do they have? Yeah, they're going to be bad this year, but are they going to be bad enough to where they get to draft one of the best quarterbacks in the upcoming draft? I don't know. We'll see. You would like to think that their season is going to end up 2-14, 3-13, but I don't know. Their defense is so good that you got to think that they're going to win four more games or so. We'll see. Reese says, interesting question. Do you think John Gruden would return to coaching if the Bucs job came available? He loves Jameis. I think he'd take a job in a heartbeat. It'd have to be for a ton of money, and it'd have to be the perfect situation. Would Tampa be the perfect situation? I know he still loves the organization. I think they're retiring. They're giving him a spot in the Ring of Fame this year. So could that be a situation that would work for him? Absolutely. But and wherever he went, they would have to have a franchise QB. I also think, though, Indianapolis with Andrew Luck would be a dream job for him. I think Andrew Luck remains the most impressed quarterback he's ever had in Gruden's camp. And so Chuck Pagano is getting fired when this season is done. That job's going to open up. How does he feel about Andrew Luck coming off of the injury and working for Jim Irsay? Because both of those are challenges. I think he wants to coach, but I think he loves the freedom of not coaching, not having his, as he likes to say, having his feet to the fire, so to speak. He still gets all of the perks of being around the game he loves so much, but without the hassle of having sleepless nights, lots of hours away from his family, no time to himself. He still gets to be a part of this beautiful game that we all love, that he loves, but not having to put in as much work. And I think he really relishes that. I think he enjoys the fact that he's a star at ESPN. He's got several shows there that, he's the star of. He gets to talk to the players, the coaches. He's still as close to the game as you can get without being a coach. So all the perks are there, but he's not having the stress that comes with being a head coach. And I think he misses it, but I don't think he misses the grind. So while I do think he wants to come back, I don't think he wants what all comes with coming back. So I don't know. We'll see. Mr. TNA says, I see a lot of Browns saying that it would not be a big difference if they took Carson Wentz, which to me is foolish. What do you think? The Browns have a way of destroying quarterbacks. And watching Hugh Jackson and the lack of talent around their quarterbacks right now, I actually like their running backs and their tight ends, but their receivers are horrible. And Hugh Jackson is clueless. I don't know. Maybe they would have destroyed Carson Wentz. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm just glad he didn't end up in Cleveland. I hate the fact that he ended up in Philly, though. Because we got to deal with him for the next decade. Mr. TNA says, Lou, you are underrating Mariota. With a good offensive coach knowing how to use him, he's better than Wentz and Carr. I disagree. I think Carson Wentz, is more durable than Mariota, which we've seen throughout both of their careers. Wentz hasn't missed a start. Meanwhile, Mariota hasn't had a complete season yet. B, Wentz is to me, the entire package. He's more accurate than Mariota to me, which is crazy, I know, because I watched Mariota be extremely accurate in college. But every now and again, you get inaccurate Marcus Mariota, and I can't explain why. Whereas with Wentz, you give him an opportunity, and he's going to carve you up. He doesn't miss very often. I think Wentz throws a better deep ball than Mariota does. Not saying that Mariota can't. And, he threw a beautiful deep ball on that Monday night versus the Colts for a touchdown that really bust that game open. But Wentz is so consistent with his. And then both are playmakers. Both can escape the pocket, use their feet to extend plays. But Wentz just seems to have the complete package. And we've never used Mariota and MVP in the same breath. We're already using Wentz and MVP in the same breath. So I don't know if I agree with you there, but we'll see. Mr. TNA says, what do you think your Skins will do at the end of the season when Captain Kirk leaves and they do not have a top 10 pick? That's the question that we're all asking ourselves. I think they're going to go the veteran route first. Alex Smith, see what it's going to take to get Alex Smith from up under the Chiefs. See what it might take to get Drew Brees and lure him to D.C. maybe. There'll be some veterans available. Maybe Phillip Rivers may be available. Who knows? You can never tell. A lot of teams are going to need quarterbacks. I think we'll be one of them at the end of the season, and we'll see how the Redskins handle that situation. Also, remember, A.J. McCarron from the Cincinnati Bengals is also an option as well. So there'll be some options available. I'll be anxious to see what route the Redskins decide to take. Reese says, any college football stars standing out to you thus far? Haven't been watching a lot of college football this year, to be honest with you. I've been watching my Notre Dame Fighting Irish and a smatter of games, but I haven't been on it like I was last year. Haven't had the time this year. Vegeta's Dark Side said, if the Browns fire Hugh Jackson and the Bengals keep Lewis, is Hugh welcome back to the Bengals as the OC? I believe so. I believe that would be an ideal fit for him to go back there and try to recreate the magic that was there before he left. We know that there's always a home for him with Marvin Lewis, so that makes a lot of sense to me. I'll take a couple more, and then we'll get out of here. Mr. TNA says, do you think the Chargers can make the surprise and beat the Patriots? To me, that is a possibility. Rivers can torch that defense, and LA's defense is not that bad. It is definitely a realistic possibility. One that I don't see happening, but I didn't see Carolina going into New England and winning. I didn't see Houston going in and lighting up the Patriots the way that they did. I didn't see the Chiefs going in and destroying the Patriots the way that they did. So the Patriots have really been suspect at home. Their defense is not good. I've said that enough times this year. And yes, the Chargers defensively are good and capable of going in there, putting pressure on Brady. And that's the one way to get to them offensively, is to get to Brady and fluster him. They can do that defensively. They got a shot, no doubt about it. Reese says, Hugh Jackson is a damn good coach, Lou. He's just not a head coach. I agree. Mr. TNA says, Steelers and Chiefs are like in the past 3-4 years, good teams that will go into the playoffs and have no shot to beat the Pats. What other AFC team do you think has a shot to? I actually think the Chiefs and the Steelers can beat the Pats this year because the Pats aren't good defensively this year. So unlike past years where I didn't think those teams had a shot to beat New England, maybe Pittsburgh, if Le'Veon Bell can stay healthy during the playoffs, which he hasn't been able to do the last 2 seasons, I think they've got a realistic shot. Both of those teams this season. Vegeta's Dark Side says, Bradford to the Skins, LOL. I wouldn't be in favor of that. He can't stay healthy. I don't want any damaged goods. I can't go from a quarterback that never misses a snap in Kirk Cousins to a quarterback that you can pretty much guarantee he will not play the entire season. So I don't want any parts of that. John Perez says, could we possibly be seeing Teddy Bridgewater very soon? I've heard he looks good in practice, but I want to see what he can do in a real game. I've heard as early as week 10 versus the Redskins could be his first game back, but we'll see what happens. Definitely. Mr. TNA says, Mariota's problem is durability. I agree there, but the biggest problem is the coach. If he would have had Sean McVay, you would hear the words MVP. I don't doubt that. You know how I feel about Sean McVay and what he does for quarterbacks, so I wouldn't doubt that one bit. Durability is definitely the chief issue there with Mariota, however. Reese says, I think Jameis is practically a clone of Brett Favre in terms of QB ability. What do you think? I think Favre is a little bit more mobile. Jameis always looks like he's got a refrigerator on his back when he runs. Brett, to me, was a lot more capable of picking up yards with his legs. But in terms of that gunslinger mentality, always trying to make something happen, no play is ever dead. Yeah, I'd agree with you in terms of that, no doubt. Cloud says, are you going to get back on your other channel? I want to. It's just a matter of time. You know, do I have enough time to split between this channel and that channel? Right now, the answer is no. But yeah, I would love to talk more boxing, more basketball, because I love those sports as well. But I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. Next year, when everything blows up, and next year is going to be a big year for this channel, because next year, this channel goes from being a channel to a brand. And when that happens, and when you start to see these big changes being made, I think I'll have because of how much easier everything else will be, because everything will be much more structured and organized. At that point, then I think I'll be able to do more on Louie T Sports. So we'll see. With that being said, though, let me give you my winners for week number 8. And let us get out of here. So, with that being said, let's jump into week number 8, shall we? And I've got my winners right here in front of me. So I'll bust these off real quick and we'll get out of here. So week 8, 13 games on the slate. So unlike last week where there was 15, a much easier hit rate for everyone to get double digits. Your amount of games that you have to win and your margin for error has shrunk exponentially. You can only lose 3 games and still make it to double digits, which is going to definitely shrink the winning population from week 7 to week 8. So I'm excited about that in itself. It's going to take some real good picking. Even if it's chalk this week, you still aren't going to have as many people hit double digits because of the nature of just having 13 games on the slate. So looking forward to this week. And I feel pretty good about my selections this week. I think this is a week where I'm going to win double-digit games. I think I'm ready to start being consistent again. I think I'm not happy at how Week 7 unfolded, but it was a necessary evil for me. I needed to see double digits to get back on track. It was a long time coming. I got it. It's under my belt, and now I'm ready for more. I'm hungry. I'm starving for more dubs. So that was just an appetizer. I'm ready for the main entree. And so let's eat. Week 8, winners. Here they come. Miami at Baltimore. Thursday Night Football. The Ravens can't score. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not comfortable with this game. The Dolphins are winners of 3 straight, but it has not been pretty. But I am a huge supporter of Matt Moore. And also, I'll take it a step further. The Vikings ran the football against the Ravens, which I thought with Brandon Williams back in the middle of that defense wasn't going to be possible. But they did, and they did it effectively. If they can do that, I expect the Dolphins to be able to do the same with Jay Ajayi, which will then loosen up things for them to take some shots down the field. They also should be getting Devontae Parker back at receiver to add to what they're already doing at receiver with Stills and Landry. I think that's going to help them score. And, it doesn't take much. 20 points, 17 maybe even enough to beat this Ravens football team that just finds it hard to score every week. They get to 20, they win. I'll take the Dolphins on the road. I'm not comfortable with this pick, but I'm more comfortable with the Dolphins than I am the Ravens as we move on to Sunday's slate of games. Minnesota at Cleveland. Do I really need to explain myself here? Take the Vikings, no questions asked. Chargers at Patriots. This is a really intriguing game. Chargers are on a 3-game winning streak. They have a chance to get back to 500. As much as I like what the Chargers are doing right now and believe they have a legitimate shot because of all the things that my man Mr. TNA said, the Patriots are struggling on defense. And offensively, the Patriots struggle with teams like the one that is going to be in front of them in Week 8 in the form of Bosa and Ingram. They can get after the quarterback and really disrupt Tom Brady's comfort in the pocket and get him off the spot. And because of that, they got a legitimate shot. But I don't feel comfortable picking against New England. I did it last week. It cost me a win. Every time I pick against them, I lose. Every time. And when I do pick them, that's when they have a chance to lose. So I'm going Patriots. They got to make me a fool again. But I got to stop going against the B&B winning factory because every time I do, they make me look foolish. Chicago at New Orleans. Bears, winners of 2 straight. Saints, winners of 3 straight. 4 straight. All right. They're at home against a Bears team that is playing outstanding football right now. They're forcing turnovers. They're running the football. They're playing outstanding defense. But this isn't the Ravens and this isn't the Panthers. 2 teams that have struggled to score. The Saints, they're not themselves offensively. They're not scoring 30-something, 40-something points every week like they used to. Their defense chipped in a couple weeks back against Detroit and they put up 52. But that's not who they are offensively anymore. They're not the explosive, dynamic, oh my God, Drew Brees is about to throw for 370 and 4 touchdowns offense anymore. But that being said, they're good enough to go out and get it done against a Bears team that I think is going to struggle to score. You can't ask your quarterback to throw it 7 times and expect to win like he did last week. That's not happening on the road against the Saints. Give me the Saints to take care of business at home. Panthers at Bucks. NFC South family business. And for some reason, I can't put my finger on it. I don't trust the Buccaneers in this one. The Panthers always find a way to beat the Bucks when Cam Newton plays. When it's Derek Anderson, the Bucks have a legitimate shot at winning like they did last year. But that being said, the Panthers have been better on the road this year. And every time you count them out, and a lot of people after 2 straight losses and their ugly loss against the Bears on the road, a lot of people are going to count them out this week. I won't be one of them because the league is so funny in such that when you start to count a team out, that's when they resurrect their season. And it's not like the Panthers are, 2-4 right now. They're 4-3. And so their season doesn't need resurrecting. It just needs direction. Will this game give them direction? Probably not. But will it give them an opportunity to get back in the win column? Absolutely. And I fully expect them to take advantage of this opportunity. Give me the Panthers on the road in the division to find a way to get the win. I may regret that one, but I'm going to stick steadfast to the Panthers finding a way to get it done versus the Bucks. Indy at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to get an opportunity here to get a win. Tough to come off your bye and go to Pittsburgh, and they weren't able to get it done. But here's a great opportunity for them to get a win, get back in the winner's swing of things, and give themselves a chance in a division that it isn't quite shut just yet. Time is ticking, but a win against Indy puts them at 3-4 and gives them an opportunity to possibly scratch and claw their way back into the AFC North Division. Oakland at Buffalo. Raiders got a huge win. What does it mean? We're going to find out in Week 8, because if they're serious about turning their season around, if that was a season-defining win, a turning point for them, then they'll go on the road and beat a Buffalo Bills team that is incredibly tough to handle at home. If it's just a win that's a nice win that we'll look at and say, wow, that was a nice win for the Raiders, but it didn't amount to much, they're going to lose this game in Buffalo. That's what I'm rolling with, that win, despite its dramatic nature, I don't see the Raiders building upon that win. I see it as a nice win, but not one that propels them to go on a winning streak of any sort. I'll take the Bills here at home to continue their really hot start to the season. It hasn't been pretty always, but they found ways to win, especially at home. And I think they continue that against Oakland in Week 8. San Francisco at Philadelphia. The 49ers have been close. The Eagles are so hot. I'm not going near that one. Give me the Eagles, and they may blow them out like they did Arizona a couple of weeks ago at home. Atlanta at the Jets. The Falcons need a win. And 3 to 4 weeks ago, we would have looked at this game and said the Falcons are going to dominate this game. Now, all of a sudden, the Jets are no pushover. In fact, they're creating turnovers. They're giving themselves a chance to win. And the Falcons look inept offensively. This could be an upset in the making here. The Falcons are no sure bet here. I'm not confident about them going on the road and winning this game. That being said, I'm more confident in the Falcons' ability to find a way to scratch out and eke out a win than I am the Jets, who I think have maxed out their ability to get it done this year. I can't see them winning more than 4 games this season. They've already won 3. You're telling me they're going to win a 4th this early in the season? I'm not buying what you're selling. I'll take the Falcons to try to turn around what has been a very struggling, meddling, middle-of-the-pack offense for the Falcons thus far this season. Here's an opportunity to get back in the win column, get over 500, and maybe jumpstart their season in the right direction. Houston at Seattle. This is going to be a remarkable ball game, and I think it's going to be the biggest test yet for young rookie quarterback Deshaun Watson on the road versus the 12th man. Loud environment, a lot of fans, a lot of noise, very good Seahawks defense. This is going to really test his mettle. He stood up to every challenge thus far and passed with flying colors. This is going to be his biggest test to date. I'm anxious to see how he handles this environment coming off of a bye week. He's played so well thus far, and Seattle starting to figure some things out. One thing's for sure, they're still good defensively. We'll see if they're able to turn over the young fella and make him look pedestrian. I'm taking Seattle at home to do what it is they do best. Win at home. Give me the Seahawks. Cowboys at Redskins. I'm reserving my decision for that game until the Redskins report, which will be Thursday at 7 p.m. So if you want to know what the end result will be for that game, tune in to the Redskins report tomorrow. Somewhere around 8:15 is when I'll probably be making my decision in terms of who will win that game. I already know who I've picked, but you'll find out who I picked tomorrow on the Redskins report live. Pittsburgh at Detroit, Sunday Night Football. Lions coming off of a bye. They should be well rested and healthy. They needed that bye. Stafford was banged up. They'll get Kenny Golladay back, big threat wide receiver, help them stretch the field. I thought that going into the bye, their defense took a huge step back because early in the season, their defense was lights out and the offense was doing just enough to win. As the season progressed, the offense was not good and the defense was not good, and that led to them losing some games. This is a big test for them because the Steelers still haven't hit their stride offensively, but their defense is among the best in the league. Their front seven, to me, is by far and away the best in the league. And so this is going to be a huge test for the Lions at home, Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a measuring stick game for them. Can they come out and establish themselves as a team to be reckoned with in the NFC? Maybe. But I saw this game before. I've seen this game before. Lions at home, big spot, primetime television. They don't get it done. I've seen this movie before. I know how it ends. I'm taking the Steelers on the road in a game where they could easily lose. And if this were a lesser opponent, I might be a little bit more nervous, but the Steelers seem to rise to the occasion in games like this. And I like them in this spot. Despite being on the road, I'll take Pittsburgh for the win. And finally, Monday Night Football, Denver at Kansas City. AFC West family business. Broncos struggling right now offensively. Didn't score a single point last week versus the Chargers. They're going to get some of their offensive weapons back, I'd like to think. But even if they don't, they're going to get Jake Butt, rookie tight end out of Michigan, their third-round draft pick, back from the PUP list. They'll get Shane Ray back, the other end of their terrible twosome pass rushing duo, along with Von Miller. Get him back from the PUP list as well in this ball game. So that changes the dynamics of their defense and potentially their offense. But I still don't know what this looks like. The Chiefs, having lost 2 in a row, 10 days to prepare for the Broncos, 11 if you count that this is a Monday night affair. I expect the Chiefs to be licking their chops. And really, this is a chance for them to separate themselves from everyone else in the division, with the Chargers playing the Patriots and possibly losing that game. The Raiders playing the Bills on the road, possibly losing that game. Here's an opportunity for you, if you're the Chiefs, to put some serious distance between you and everyone else in the division. You win this game, and everyone in this division except for yourself will have a losing record, and you'll be sitting atop this division, sitting pretty at 6-2, all by your lonesome. You have an opportunity to put a stranglehold on this division. Take full advantage. I expect the Chiefs at home to do just that. Give me the Chiefs to protect Arrowhead on Monday night versus the Denver Broncos. Quickly to recap my picks. Miami on Thursday night. Minnesota, New England, New Orleans, Carolina, Cincinnati, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Dallas, and Washington. Result on the Redskins Report live. So, with that being said, it's going to be an intriguing week. Bart Scott, can't wait. But that's going to do it for your man, Louie T, here on Winners and Losers. Sorry for the late start. A lot going on in my household. But nonetheless, still blessed to be able to come and do this with you guys and to have as many of you show up as you did for a late, still great Winners and Losers program. Speaks volumes to not only my dedication, but even more so your dedication. And I thank you for that. And so if it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Be a busy day. The Redskins report live at 7. And then there'll be Thursday Night Football. And then there'll be Thursday Night Football overtime at the conclusion of Dolphins and Ravens. So I'll see you guys then. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your night. And for my man, Mr. TNA, enjoy the rest of your morning and day, sir. Have a good one, guys.